Okay, great. Thank you, Nick, for catching that, and hopefully somebody will listen. Thank you. Item D is in dog. We're going to 119th edition, phase 2.
Back on November 6th of 2023, the council accepted a petition and approved a resolution advisability for water installation project on the 119th edition, phase 2, in the amount of $321,000. On April 22nd, we did open bids, with NOAC Construction being the overall low bid. The bids received by NOAC for installation in this amount of $295,009 exceeded the engineer's estimate for this particular project, which was $237,737, which as basically requires us to resubmit a petition, or we call a repetition. It's estimated that the repetition and the total estimated amount for the project after bidding would be $393,000 plus the cost of acquired improvement charges, bringing the estimated cost to $430,467. The developer has resubmitted the repetition as well for water installation in that amount for $393,000, and this has been reviewed by legal counsel, and also what you have here is with the repetition is a new authorization resolution, which has been prepared by our bond attorney. And at this point, we would make the recommendation that we accept the bid from NOAC, we accept the repetition amount which has been prepared, and we adopt a revised resolution of advisability for this.
Questions?
So we can make it all in one motion?
I think so, yes.
Questions from anybody? Motion from anybody?
Mr. Mayor,
Yep.
I would move to accept the bid from Novak Construction for water improvements at the 119th edition, phase 2, for the amount not to exceed $393,000. Number 2, accept the petition for 119th phase 2 water improvements for the total amount of $430,467, and adopt the revised resolution of advisability for 119th edition phase 2 water improvements.
I'll second that.
I've got a motion and a second to accept the bid from NOAC Construction for water improvements at the 119th edition, phase 2, for the amount not to exceed $393,000. Also to accept the repetition for 119th edition, phase 2 water improvements in the total amount of $430,467, and also to adopt the revised resolution of advisability for the 119th edition phase 2 water improvements. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Moving down to item E, NOAC construction contract for 119th edition phase 2, which is what we were just talking about. Anything new to that, Nick?
I'd just say that this is essentially adopting the contract. This has been reviewed by the city attorney, and it meets our template and all of our requirements for a contract. Not uncommon that we would get this in close proximity to receiving those bids. But at this point, I will say that just once again, the low bid for all of this was $1,207,835.65. And this was, that is the amount that we are recommending at this point moving forward with the contract. And that basically covers all of the improvements, not just the water that we just handled. This will cover everything else as well. Which includes the drainage, sanitary sewer, and water. Just the water was the only one we had to modify the petition on. The rest will all be
If I'm
approved.
seeing
And
this, there were 4 bidders, is that correct?
I think that's correct.
Just wanted that for the record to know that it wasn't just a one bid deal. Anybody? Questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
I move to accept the negotiated contract from the low bidder and approve the construction agreement with Novak Construction Company, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $1,207,835.65, and for Pat Stivers to be authorized to sign.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to accept the negotiated contract from the low bidder and approve the construction agreement with Nowak Construction Company, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $1,207,835.65, and authorize the mayor to sign subject to city attorney approval, which has already been done, right? Correct? All
That was
those,
not in my motion.
sorry. I retract the city attorney. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Item F is an ordinance for a vacation. For a drainage easement. Nick?
This vacation order has been brought to us requesting a drainage easement and utility easement vacation. They're wanting to, if this gets approved, they're wanting to do a lot split so they can build on that eastern portion of that property. That property was actually tried to have been given to the HOA to build a park or something there to utilize it effectively. The HOA didn't want it, so the homeowner's trying to build on it so he can sell that property.
Carriage crossing, it's the circle.
Huh?
It's the circle, the carriage crossing.
There's an aerial in your map if you want to see that map.
Okay.
I think it's on that curve
Huh?
where it's a small,
Oh, that, where, okay.
the curve.
Yeah.
I believe, I didn't see the map either. Let me look. Yeah. Yep. Not gonna have much of a
What
yard.
areas do you want to take out?
This area here. is
All
the,
that?
is the easement, utility easement.
Okay.
This area here is the drainage,
Okay.
or vice versa.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we foresee that there would be any issues getting back in there if we have to service that overflow? Because it's been stopped up before.
I've checked with the engineering and the utility companies, and there doesn't seem to be any problems with that.
Any other questions from council? Motion?
Mr. Mayor, I would move to pass the ordinance for vacation order V-01-025 vacating a drainage and utility easement at 807 South Long Branch Drive, Carriage Crossing, Maize, Sedgwick County, Kansas, and authorize the mayor to sign.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second to pass the ordinance for vacation order V as in Victor -01-025, vacating the drainage and utility easement at 807 South Long Branch Drive, Carriage Crossing, Maize, Kansas, Sedgwick County, Kansas, and authorize the mayor to sign. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item G is Apex Excavating.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. A little background on this one. This is Lot 1, Block 2, Eagle View Estates over off 53rd Street, commonly known as the garage condos that are going up over there. We received bids for the sanitary sewer extension for this project back on February 12th. 2 bids were received and both exceeded the engineer's maximum estimate of $56,530 by quite a bit. On request of the developer and under the advisement of the city attorney, we allowed the developer to pursue private bids and seek a more affordable option. One private bid was received and opened publicly on Friday, March 28th, a bid from Apex, the amount of $141,590 base bid was the low bid. There was an ad alternate of $10,300 each for water meter service. The city then asked Garber to resubmit a new engineer's estimate with a revised number to better reflect the additional cost. And as you're aware from recent bids, anything going deep like sewer or stormwater is running way over engineer estimates these days. And a lot of this had to do with dewatering and traffic control on 53rd while this project went on, because the project's going to be so close to the road surface that they're going to have to keep traffic away from the road surface to protect it. The revised engineering estimate coming back from Garber came back in at $190,100, and negotiated contract with Apex was for base bid plus 2 times the ad alternate of $10,300. So they'll have 2 water meter services at the end of the building. This is subject to the city attorney as to form, and we're making a recommendation that you accept the negotiated contract with Apex in the amount not to exceed $162,190.
We did already accept these bids, so it's just approving the contract at this point.
So Tom's seen this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Any questions? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. So to accept the negotiated contract from Apex Excavating LLC in the amount not to exceed $162,100, $162,190, and authorize the mayor to sign.
I'll second that.
I got a motion and a second to accept the negotiated contract from Apex Excavating LLC in an amount not to exceed $162,190 and authorize the mayor to sign. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item H.
Second one I have for you tonight is on Skycrest Second. You may be familiar with this one as it is an established neighborhood that is looking to install water service in a cul-de-sac area over here off 53rd on Blackwood Street. There is a 4-corner map in your packet that shows it as Kumaro, but that obviously under the plat, they've changed the name of the street to Blackwood. We received bids for this project from Noah Construction was the low bid at $74,174 with alternates for an additional fire hydrant assembly and service extensions. The original engineer's estimate, and it's wrong in your packet, I apologize. It was $83,068, not 89 as it's written in there. Public Works did request to add the alternate of 6 short services and extensions and 2 long service extensions, and that would bring the entire total cost to $89,174. All that cost will be borne by the neighborhood. Total cost of the project remains below the petition amount approved by the City Council on April 7th, and the bid tabulation is attached in your packet. City attorneys approved the agreement as to form, and we're looking for a recommendation to accept the contract from the low bidder.
Mr. Mayor,
Yep.
I move we accept the contract from low bidder and approve the construction agreement with Novak Construction, amount not to exceed $89,174 for water line improvements at Skycrest Second Edition, and authorize the mayor to sign.
I'll second.
I got a motion second to accept the low bid from Noah Construction to install water line improvements in the amount of $89,174, subject to city attorney approval, which he's already done, and authorize the mayor to sign. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
So it looks like we have 5 bidders on that, correct? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good.
Item J, City Hall and, oh, wait a minute, item I, we're going to, I got ahead of myself. Pro Seal for surface treatment.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have before you a bid from ProSeal to apply a little over 77,000 square yards of reclamite to our city streets. Reclamite is a process that we've done over the last 3 or 4 years. Reclamite is a water-based emulsion. It's applied to the road and it rejuvenates the oils and seals the surface. It slows down oxidation, basically prolongs the life of the road. It's believed that it prolongs the cracking process of the road. And I passed out to you before the meeting a couple of maps that we included in the bid for that. And these are the areas that we're going to apply for reclamite to this year. And so with that, I'm looking for your approval of the bid with ProSeal for $96,367.50. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Just to expound on what Nick's done, this product is it's a surface treatment much along the lines of a slurry seal or a fog seal as far as what it does. However, it does not change the way the road looks, which is nice. So this process is normally used on our newer streets, and it keeps them looking newer, so that you're not doing a slurry seal where you're changing the driving of the street. It's just basically putting the light oils back into the asphalt is what it's doing.
It actually goes down clear. So any pavement marking, striping that you have on there, it reflects through the.
Basically, without doing a core sample, you can't really even tell that anything was done, which is kind of what we're looking for. That's the hard part of selling that product.
So is it sprayed on by a truck?
Yeah. And then there's sand normally that's applied over the top of it. And then are we sweeping it up or are they?
We had put in a bid alternate for them to give us a price, but I think we're doing the post sweeping.
The neat thing about it with slurry, or well, more so with chip seal, is you don't have to worry about painting up and hitting tires or hitting windshields and stuff like that. And it won't go into the drain and stuff like that, which is nice. Okay. I like it because of the aesthetics of what it does to our city streets. We're not changing what our streets look like. We're not changing the driving course.
It's a really good process, especially with as many new streets as we have.
I'll make a motion to approve the bid from ProSeal Inc. in the amount of $96,367.50.
I'll second that.
I got a motion and a second to approve the bid from ProSeal in the amount of $96,367.50. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Nick. I guess you're going to stay up.
Yep.
2025 City Hall and Emergency EMS parking lot repairs.
Another project in our street preservation plan for 2025 is repairs and preservation of our City Hall complex parking lot facility here. What we're doing is we're doing a little bit of milling, patch repair, crack sealing, and applying a new seal coat and striping to our parking lot. In my opinion, the City Hall of our city is kind of the forefront of, where people come to do business. I think it's important that it looks as good as it can. I think we did a seal coat process in 2021. So it's going on 4 years, and in my opinion, it needs a little bit of help. So just to make it look a lot better, and there's some cracking and milling, asphalt patching repairs that can be done. And so I've got before you a bid from Encore to perform these repairs in an amount of $21,455.50. There were 4 bidders on this project. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. And this is the third sheet that I handed out earlier.
It's a tight bidding right there.
So where's Encore from? I mean, where are they at?
Right down the street from
El Dorado.
Not anymore.
Oh, they moved?
They're over off of Broadway.
And who are they partnered with out of El Dorado? SPS?
Well, SPS used to be their name. They're now called Encore, and they're actually owned by a company out of Washington, D.C. now. but they're right down the street from my office.
I feel like we got some really good bids.
They're at Broadway and 37th, basically.
So does the city own the EMS building? We do.
How long will this project take?
I think we've got it in there we gave them plenty of time. I think we put in there 15 working days.
Do we lease that building to the county? Is that what we do?
Okay.
We do, we have a long-term lease. It's with that building.
Gotcha.
Trying to ask if they're liable for some of this.
So what product are you putting on the surface?
Well, what we'll do is we'll clean it all up, we'll crack seal it good, and then it's actually, I'm not sure what the exact type of seal coat it is, but we're going to do 2 coats of it.
Coal tar.
Coal tar. Coal tar.
I'll ask one more dumb question. In the lease agreement, is the county or the city responsible for maintenance?
We maintain it and they basically pay for improvements that happen out there, so. When they first located there, that was part of the agreement. We actually do maintenance on the building itself as well, so if we have to fix HVAC units, we mow all the grass, we do all of that as well.
Stupid question for me. So how come we don't put reclamite on the parking lot?
Typically, reclamite's used for, it's typically the first thing you do in your preservation process for a street. So being as old as our parking lot is, it's well past the point to use reclamite on it.
I'd say we're getting to the point with the parking lot where we need to look at ripping it out and redoing it one of these days. Probably this could be its last cycle, maybe, don't you think?
I agree. I think this would maybe get us another 5 to 7 years down the road.
I don't see us doing that in the streets very often.
As far as milling and crack sealing.
Yeah. Milling it down and resurfacing.
So currently, right now, we're doing our crack sealing in what is zone 4, kind of in this area of the city. As far as milling goes, we've experimented with milling some of the larger cracks out and putting down some geogrid and putting new asphalt in that milling section. It's typically 2 feet wide, and we've had mixed results. We've had a lot of success using a patcher, doing a crack filling process. We're going to be doing some more of that later this year on Tyler Road. But the crack filling process we haven't done in the last year or 2.
The geogrid has a tendency to move underneath, and so it fails sometimes. So you gotta be careful with that.
So being this is a place of business, will they do some of it over the weekend? The large,
We're going to work with them, and kind of based on how they suggest they want to do it. We did put in there to work in the weekends or after hours. They'll work it out with us, but they're not to disrupt operations.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept the low bid from Encore Pavement in the amount of $21,455.50.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to accept the low bid from Encore Pavement in the amount of $21,455.50. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have some appointments, 3-year terms, Planning Commission.
Again, Mr. Mayor, council members, 3-year terms for the council or the commission members, Tyler Lohman, Eric Semet, and Mike Burks. Excuse me, in this month. So we need to, they've all agreed to stay on board. So we'd like to reappoint them, keep them to a 3-year term.
Does that make the commission full?
That does make the commission full again.
You've been pretty consistent lately. You had a few departures earlier this year, did you not, or?
No,
How
no,
long?
we filled them when I first got here with
Okay.
Eric Semet and Kara Cooper.
Does the planning commissioners have any term limit, or they can serve as long as they are willing to?
They have a 3-year term limit.
3-year term. But then they can
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's no
Yes,
term
that's
limit.
correct.
I see.
no.
Oh,
Okay.
only
terms.
2 terms.
I misunderstood your question.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess my only question would be, in the agenda packet, there's not anything about the agenda item. So, I mean, it goes from the contract for Encore onto the police reports.
Oh,
Sorry.
that should be on there. It should be item K.
Okay.
I'm just going down in order, so. I understand that, but I'm
Okay.
saying in the whole packet,
Oh, I see.
Oh, so
There's
it
not
doesn't
any
show up in
data.
the actual,
in the
No.
packet,
It does not.
except for on the agenda. Yeah, so that's
Okay.
why I have a concern about that, just because we don't usually list agenda items and then not have any kind of paper in the packet that would address what we're doing.
and I'm looking at it from the actual piece that's on there. So it depends on how you look at it, I think, because I'm actually looking at it on my computer right in front of me, so. And it shows an item K.
Is the planning commission recommend, or, to put these on, is that something the council does, or is that something the mayor does?
The mayor appoints them,
But we all vote on it.
yes.
Yes. You make the appointment and it's confirmed by the council.
So what did Sue say about two terms? What is?
It's 2 full terms, isn't it, Sue? Or is it, like if Eric was appointed, as an example, would it be,
Yeah.
is it
That's what I'm
2
saying.
full terms?
It to total of 6 years.
Is it on the term itself, or is it that just for office?
Well, that's for officers only.
Okay,
That's
okay.
officers only. So I'm sorry, it's not the term itself. It's
Yeah, I mean, I was on the planning commission for a heck of a lot longer than,
Yeah, you can only be like president, or you can only be, the planning director or the planning,
Commissioner, by chairman.
you can only be the chairman for 2 terms.
Okay.
Okay.
That-
You actually can serve for
That makes
many,
more
many
sense.
years.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, we've had people on there for a long time.
We were to have our election last meeting, but we had too many council members absent, so we decided to postpone it until next month.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I need to nominate these guys, but I'd be happy to. I don't know if that's my job at this
I
point.
think it is your job.
I do. Okay. I do hereby nominate Tyler, Eric, and Mike to another term on the planning commission. And I would ask the council to vote on that, either yes or no. Or do we need to do them individually?
I
Tom?
don't believe we need to do them individually. We went through this with Tom.
Tom's looking at me. Okay, thank you. So I would entertain a motion to approve the commissioners to.
Mr.
new
Mayor,
term.
I would move to approve the slate of planning commissioners as presented.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second to approve the commissioners to their 3-year terms, the slate of 3, expiring in May of 2028, which you didn't put on there, but I'm going to say that anyway. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, thank you. You got to stay up here, it looks like. The reports, planning administrator report.
For starters, we have a zoning case that's coming soon. It's Z01025 south on 45th Street and approximately 525 feet west of Maize Road, or south of 45th Street and on there on Maize Road. It's just right there north of Eagles Nest Second, where they are going to put a pool in there.
Oh,
It's that open lot there.
Okay.
They're wanting to zone that from SF5 to GO, General Office, for an assisted living facility.
Oh, yeah.
Our second thing is Jerry and Cynthia Altmans and Matthew and Heather Percival are looking to vacate their easement along 32nd Street. It used to be 32nd Street that was vacated back in 2009, I believe. I'm in the process of working out the details with Sedgwick County Electric Co-op and Wichita Public Works to have that easement as a centerline easement down where 32nd used to exist and save them some space because they initially wanted that entire easement vacated, but they're willing to accept a 20-foot centerline easement. Let's see, public open house was held April 21st and April 22nd for the floodplain. It was designed to answer questions related to the state of Kansas updating flood insurance maps, flood insurance rate maps for Sedgwick County. Residents base were encouraged to attend either one. It was published on Facebook and it was published in letters, mailed out in letters. Joanna Rolfe said we did receive some Maize residents more at the Bentley one than we did at the Wichita Public Works. But we did get some Maize residents there. Other than that, I'll stand for questions.
Anything, guys?
That area that they're vacating where you said the pool is supposed to go, are they eliminating that pool location
Are you talking about where they're,
off of that first one, wasn't it?
the first one? No,
Yeah,
it's across the
it's
street.
just north of where the pool would be.
Oh,
It's across the street.
I was
that
giving you
big-
an idea where,
Yeah.
yeah.
with that pool, it's gonna go there. They're wanting to put in that general office rezone there, and then they're gonna do assisted living.
Okay.
facility.
Yeah, and the pool's south of the,
Correct.
yeah.
It'll be assisted living, independent living, and a memory care unit combined is what it will be.
They say anything about when they're doing the pool? I know a lot of people are asking.
We got a pool
Live
house
there.
coming
It's
in.
become a
I
joke
signed
for the
permit for
residents.
that.
You're right.
I signed a permit for that. They're working on that currently.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Good.
Much like the Northwest bypass. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Just a note here that, so the agenda that was handed out in paper is different than the one online.
That's correct.
Or am I the only one
No,
seeing
mine's-
that?
no,
Okay.
you're right.
Yeah.
I just-
So I guess we need to make a note to update the one online because it's definitely different than the paper that we have in front of us.
I went with it because he was already up there.
Got it.
Because normally we start with police.
I must be looking at the one online because I do show police, public works and planning and zoning.
Yeah,
So
that's, we can move back to that. We'll move you out now. You're done. Thank you. Let's go back to the online one and I'll skip the paper one and we'll talk to the chief. Maize Police Department. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Evening,
Good evening.
Mayor, Council. I do have one thing to add to my report. We had given a conditional offer to a young man for a patrol position, and he started today. So he'll go to the academy sometime in June. The two academies in June are June 2nd and June 23rd. I'm guessing it'll probably be June 23rd when he attends. Other than that, I have nothing else to add. I'll stand for any questions you have about the report.
When you say young man, how young?
About 24. Just graduated last December from WSU with a criminal justice degree.
He also went to Maize, right?
He also went to Maize High School.
Local kid.
Yep.
He scored well. You told me in all of the evaluations and everything.
Mhm.
And our last person that just graduated, he's doing very well, I assume.
Yes, he's graduated field training and he went out on his own this week.
Awesome.
Mr. Thomas is doing quite well. And we've got 4 other applications we're doing backgrounds on to fill our final spot. And the deputy chief search is ongoing.
Chief, I just see the total cost and incidents for the first 3 months, kind of compare with 2024 is a little bit higher. Is there any particular reason that we know? Is there anything we need to be aware of?
There's no significant trends as far
Okay.
as call load. We have seen an increase over the last several years of DV calls, 2-officer calls. But this year, we've had a number of miscellaneous calls.
Okay.
And then the officers also are doing some documentation on, in the computer rather than pulling cases. And so those show up as incidents as well, rather than actually have a standard case. That's why you see the cases are slightly down.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
School's about to get out and our SRO officers are going to move back into patrol at that point. Is that right?
They will, as soon as we're done with our 2 911 camps.
That's right. Yeah.
We have 2 911 camps in June. We have filled up the first camp last. I knew we still had some openings on the second camp. Once they're done with the camps, we'll be sending 2 people to SRO school, and then the rest of them will have an alternate schedule to fill in on, help out on patrol.
So do we park our patrol cars downstairs?
We normally do. The last week or so, we've had an issue with the garage door opener, and Public Works has been extremely helpful. We just got that new opener installed, and it's got better safety features. And so we'll be moving them back downstairs. The majority of them.
They all can't fit.
They all can't fit. I believe we can get all but 2 in of the marked units.
No? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's do some public works.
Evening again, Mayor and Council. The only thing I'd like to iterate on my report is, as of Monday last week, we were full on full-time employees. So it's a good feeling, and we've got one, we're getting ready to issue one conditional offer to one of our seasonal guys. Other than that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Your new hires, what kind of background are they? Have they worked in public works before, or?
One of them has, one of them has not. One of them came to us. He moved here from Florida. He was currently working graveyard shift at Spirit. So he was looking for something a little more stable, but he's got some utility experience.
I mean, what sort of a training program are you working on developing something, or?
Yeah. First and foremost, we're working on onboarding and offboarding. And then yes, I would love to initiate some sort of training program where, for like the utility guys, they go around all of our facilities and they understand how everything works, from the water wells to the lift station pumps. And then for our streets, public works guys, starting out on a weed eater, chainsaw kind of stuff, and eventually working their way up to zero turns and tractors and that kind of thing.
So do you work with Tristan on developing the programs?
I haven't worked with Tristan yet. I've been working with Tiffany. I've been working with
Tiffany. Okay.
been working with Tiffany on our department onboarding. I mean, the city has a pretty good onboarding program. As far as, training and getting them keys and radios and PPE, that kind of stuff from a public works perspective.
So I guess I'm a little dumbfounded. People don't know how to run a weed eater and stuff like that anymore?
There's a lot of kids coming up that don't have a whole lot of experience out there.
My experience, sometimes it's about teaching them how to do it the right way sometimes. So if they've learned bad habits, it's in my 23 years, sometimes people just, backing trailers and things like that, you just don't, some people just don't learn how to do those the right way. It's learning them, teaching them the right way to do hand signals and everything, and how you do turns and things like that. So there's just a lot of things that you can just learn to do it the best, most safe way.
Not a touch. So.
I don't think I've talked to you since the rural water show. Did we test okay there and everybody do okay?
Yeah. So fortunately, we don't have to retest every 2 years. We just have to get our CEUs. We did have one guy test for a wastewater license and didn't make it, but I'm going to keep trying.
All the lights on Academy, are all those up and going?
They've taken a third of them to get replaced under warranty. And they should be getting them to put back up, and then they'll work on the next third and start replacing them accordingly.
Where do they send that out to? Are they just LEDs?
They're, whoever the manufacturer is, I'd have to verify who the
You're fine.
lighting manufacturer is, but they're not willing to send us new ones before we send them the defective ones.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Let's see, we already did planning now. Man. What's next? Treasurer?
Legal.
Yes. She's already up.
You have anything?
There's no legal on it.
No, I don't have anything.
He's not on the agenda. Now we're gonna get to the numbers. Let's hear some numbers.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. Attached in your packets are 3 reports: a year-to-date treasury report, your cash and budget position report as of the last day of March, and also your quarterly revenue reports. A few items that have come across this past month that I've been here that I wanted to touch base on is the IRS audit 945 regarding employment tax returning is nearing completion. We just recently sent in a check, so hopefully we can get that closed out. And then also Varney and Associates has completed our 2024 audit, so you guys will be seeing that soon. And we are continuing to work on your 2026 proposed budget. And other than that, I have nothing else, and I will stand for any questions.
Questions from anybody? Doctor?
So I'm just looking at the graph here. So for both the property tax and the sales tax, we do see, if I understand this correctly, the green ones is the budgeted number, and the blue is the actual number.
For year-to-date, correct,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
So which means that 2024, I mean, even though it's slightly, so the actual is slightly smaller than the budgeted number for the property tax and the sales and use tax.
That is correct, yes. Again, those are budgeted numbers, so we can't
That's the
really
budgeted.
predict our revenue numbers
Okay.
until we actually.
Good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. Municipal court, there's some information. How's our judge doing? Still good?
She's doing a fantastic job, and she's really started to pick up, and she's using the computer, and I think she's getting the hang of all of our codes and all of the nuances that have to do with the city of Maize, and so I think she's done a phenomenal job.
We have court Wednesday this week.
It's Wednesday. I think we should have court this week. I'd encourage anybody that wanted to kind of see it in action. I think it's significantly changed a lot. So you also have in your report the technology report as well. If you're interested, if you have any questions, Tristan can answer any of the municipal court or the technology questions that you might potentially have. But we are, I know the one I'm excited about is website, and they expect to potentially go live in August with our new website. So pretty exciting. They're in the process of doing migration of the data over from our current website. And it'll be really great because we'll be able to update it pretty easily, and we'll have multiple people that know how to do that. So that'll be a nice addition.
I don't see anything more on this. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the cemetery thing? There's a report on the cemetery here, although it's not on the agenda.
Unless there's any questions, I don't think there's any changes to that. If anybody's got questions.
Oh, there it is. It's confusing.
It's just not.
I'm confused.
Got a letter.
It's basically a cash report,
There's
revenue,
the operation.
expenditures, beginning cash.
You got the operations report that I just found. Anything with regard to that you guys?
Oh, sure. I'd love to go over the operations report with you.
Great.
We'll kind of hit some of the highlights, and I'd be glad to talk about anything else I don't talk about today, but we spent quite a bit of this time just getting Elizabeth up to speed. She's really picked up some things great. I'm excited to say that she's she's basically doing all the daily reconciliations, reviewing financial accounts, and began looking at financial policies. And so at some point, you'll be hearing about some updates and some changes to financial policies as we go forward. And so we've got her, she's spent a lot of time working on software updates as well. So we're excited to have her getting up to speed quickly. And, as we thought, she would do that pretty quickly. She has done that. She talked about the auditors. You should have the audit report, I think, the next meeting later this month. You'll get a report of that. Exciting, you heard it this morning, but the Community Foundation board members, there's currently 9, and there's several that are also potentials on top of that we've talked to that we haven't secured final commitments for, but that'll be exciting moving forward with that piece. We did have on April 26th, we had our first concert, and it was our Spring Kids concert. Bad news is it rained. The good news is I think they flowed with the punches, and they were able to actually eventually move that inside. And so it was a great series, and we had a pretty good turnout for a rainy day. And I know Tristan put a lot of work in for that, and I give her some kudos for that. We do have some upcoming concerts here at the end of this month. We'll have more of I call the family, but adult-oriented concerts, because we'll actually have an opportunity to have food and alcohol as well at these. But that'll be May 30th. We'll have the band. June 27th, it'll be Big Fat Fun, and those are both rock bands and local rock bands. And then July 18th, it'll be Kyle Kilgore, it'll be country act. So we're excited to have some of those hit, and we'll be promoting those pretty heavily coming up. Getting ready to start our farm and art market will get started this week. Is that right? And it'll be the 5 to 7. And it'll always be the second
Thursday of every month.
I have a question on, you mentioned you promote them quite heavily. What is our promotion? How do we promote this stuff? How do we get the word out?
Right now,
Concerning to me, so.
right now, we don't have a lot of communication outlets, but we will put them out in our Maize highlights. And then we also have put it out in the Maize Rec guide. So it was printed out in the Maize Rec guide for their last program guide. And then we do social media. And I can, for a fairly small amount of budget, I can target that to the Maize community to try to get to the people out on social media. I have reached out to Woodard, who has an electronic billboard here on Maize Road, and as well on the electronic billboard with Heartland Credit Union. The Maize Farm and Art Market advertising is up now on there, and I'm working with them to get the concert series.
If you've got, I mean, I don't want to tell you your job, but I mean, you've got 3 specific dates.
Mhm.
Could we possibly, because we don't have an LED sign at this point other than, like you said, those 2, could we actually make a banner and actually put that on Maize Road at this point now?
Yeah,
Is that something we could do?
Yeah, we can look into doing that, or we can look into doing the yard signs that you can put at the corner
Yeah.
and things like that. Absolutely.
Put, like the yard sites, put them in multiple locations throughout the city, so to speak. I just want to make sure, we're spending this money. We want to make sure that the folks are going to go to it, that they're, it's their tax dollar at work, so to speak. So and you know how I feel about these things. So, but I want to make sure that people know that it's for them to attend. And I'm just concerned that you can put it on a website all you want, but they actually have to go look at it versus if they're driving through town, they're going to see something, is my opinion. So, a little old school, I guess. Chit-chatting.
Absolutely do that.
We don't, the Woodard sign out here, do we have to pay for that? I thought the city had a
No, it's
free.
it's mostly a request, and then it's kind of in their hands on when they get that put up and how that goes. But I have reached out to them to inquire if they'll get that put up for us.
That was going back on the planning commission. That was part of the deal, that sign getting approved, was they were going to have to supply a certain percentage of nonprofit stuff at no expense.
So who do you work with on that?
I email the person that runs their board. I'm sorry, I don't have the name right on top of my head right now, but.
Are they over here at the Mercantile then?
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, could we put something at the Ace Hardware, maybe in their parking lot or in their door or something like that, or some flyers on the counters, things like that? Can we do things like that? What's that?
Yeah, I said I can talk with Carl and see how that will work.
Yeah. I just want us to make more of an effort if we can somehow to put the word out, so to speak. So, and I'm sorry you had such poor weather on the. It's too bad.
They do. We figured it out slowly but surely.
Where'd all the umbrellas come from?
It was Katie Todd had a music program that she used umbrellas in. So since with MES right there, she went and grabbed them on. We just dispersed as much as possible, and then we brought everybody on stage, and then little rivers started to flow. And at that point, we did have to look out for the sound equipment that was up on the stage. But they had a really great time, and then we were able to keep the concert going inside. So it worked out. It was just a little bit of a rainy day.
A lot of bit of
A lot of a rainy day.
Thank you. Thank you for answering that.
I will also provide an update. We have been working quite a bit on the sales tax. I appreciate your efforts to come and record, and hopefully we'll move quickly with that. We will be putting out a digital presentation, and it'll also be a presentation we make at our 4 public meetings that we will have. And you see the schedule there. Those will be on May 28th at Moxie Junction in the morning. It'll be a morning public meeting for anybody, and we'll push that out quite a bit as well, letting people know they can come and attend in person. We'll also have one on June 3rd at Impact at 6 p.m. We'll have one on June 18th here at Maize City Hall. We'll do that over a lunch hour at 11:30. We'll actually have a light lunch that people can enjoy while they're here. And then July 8th at Impact. And so those will be the 4 basic public meetings. We'll also have on our website, once the website presentation is available with a voiceover that we're bringing forward, we'll make that available on our website. You could go today and check out information on the proposed sales tax on the website right now. So if you actually type in sales tax in the city of Maize, should take you to our website, and you should be able to click on that. Maize highlights are going out. That's another place that should be going out here in the next probably week and a half. So we'll have that besides just the events that you talked about, Mayor. We'll have the middle insert. We'll talk specifically about sales tax and hopefully answer some of those things. On the website, you can actually go. There's some frequently asked questions. You will have the presentation once it's hopefully up here in the next week or week and a half, and then we'll push that commercial out, or the educational piece that you guys all recorded for. We'll push that out here pretty hardcore once it's done, but that'll be closer to the end of, I think, May into early June when that piece is done. But great piece. I've told all of you, and I've told anybody that would like us to come speak about the sales tax. We're more than willing to do it. We did kind of our first presentation of the sales tax we made at the school district board, and we've also made the same presentation at some of the other civic groups that we've presented and talked about the community foundation as well. So We want to continue to push this out. We will be doing some signs for that as well. As we get closer to the election, we'll put those out. And then we're also potentially looking at a mailer as well for that. So we want to make sure we're pushing encouraging as many people to go out and vote. And ultimately, we just want people to be informed, and it's ultimately every citizen's choice, but we want to give them the best information possible, and so we've tried to do our best to do that. And I think though it's been slow going, this is probably the next week, the week and a half is when you're going to start seeing some of that go out. I will also mention we did building permits. We'll just hit that. We're right at 60 building permits so far for residential. We had almost 200, and last year we had almost 230, and so we're on pretty good pace. And we've got a number of projects that are just getting ready to finish up. We'll be also in the Maize highlights. You'll see that we've kind of talked a little bit about where we're at on progress of some of our developments, and so that'll be an opportunity for the public to learn a little bit about where we're at in the process. That's really all I've got. That was really all I wanted to update you on. I will also talk about the strategic plan. We appreciate all of your efforts on the 18th of April at the workshop to kind of identify some of the upcoming goals. We did make the staff made some modifications that we sent out to you guys, add a couple points on our goals. The next steps at this point, having taken in any input that you guys have provided, would be we'll sit down, we'll put it out to the focus groups, make sure it follows exactly what they've said. And then the next step is we'll get into the actual action steps to address all of those goals. And so we'll sit down as a staff and start to identify some of those action steps. And after we're done with that, that'll be when we actually push out the strategic plan. You'll have another opportunity, I think, after we've done that to kind of ask questions or look at other opportunities to address some of those goals after we've put that together. So we're excited about that. I think that part out on the website as well. You can at least go out and look at the survey, the focus group reports as well. And so if you want to go out and see those, you can go on the website as well. So those are out there. And once we get the final strategic plan going forward, you'll be able to look at that. The other thing is, as I kind of prepare these reports, my hope is that once we have the strategic plan out, it'll be very focused on the various sections that we're working on. And as I address updates, it will be related to the specific goal that's out there. So we did hear what WSU said, and that I thought that was a really good idea, is that we address those based upon the goals as they show up. So that's really all I've got on the operations report, but I'd answer any questions you have on anything else in there.
Anything else from staff? If not, we'll move on to Kevin.
I don't really have anything. Thanks staff for all your hard work. I know there's a lot going on, which is good. But anyway, I don't have anything in particular.
Alex?
What's the latest on Bill's or Bob's Burgers?
I haven't gotten any update recently, so I can tell you. I know that it's just taken some time to get some of the inside stuff done. I know he's painted the outside of the building, but I don't know where they're at.
I just seen a U-Haul truck there the other day.
Yep.
Is there today?
Today?
Mhm.
Still there? I was just curious.
I couldn't tell you. Sorry. I'd be glad to find out and see if I can give you guys an update.
That's all I had. I just wanted to see what's going on with the old bill.
I don't think I have anything.
Nothing for me.
Doctor.
I just want to share one thing. It's not particularly related to Maize, but we all live in Sedgwick County. So Sedgwick County today just launched their 2026 budget simulator, which is a project I helped them to put together. I currently they posted on all their social media. Once I have the QR code, I'll have a more kind of flyer information I will circulate. So basically, that's kind of public engagement tool for any local government to seek for the citizens' input, helping them formulate the budget. So it's developed by the Balancing Act, now belong to POCO. So I kind of introduced this to all the public finance officers at the lunch in February. So I think this is a pretty good opportunity for all the residents in Sedgwick County to put their input in, because the title is actually what is your priority for the 2026 Sedgwick County budget. I think at this weekend we have the SCAC meeting, the county update. That's one of the items on that as well. Yep.
Thanks for reminding everybody about SCAC. Yeah.
Oh,
We're voting in new officers this meeting.
Yep. That's all from me. Thank you.
I don't have anything to report other than thanks for reminding me about SCAC. If you guys want, that's in Park City this Saturday. Yeah, other than that, I don't have anything, guys. Everybody's doing a great job and lots of signing today, thanks to Sue. Thank you. Unless there's something else, I would have to motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Motion second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? We are done. Thank you.